Greg, I'll start with you. Throw some popcorn your way.
Man.
Will Odell be happy in Cleveland?
Before I answer the question, this might have been your best Whitlock.
Yeah, this might have been the best one.
This was good.
Funny.
I like this
Put some thought into that one.
But yes, Odell Beckham is going to be happy. And the reason why is because of those guys that were at the presser with him. Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. When you formulate a relationship that is off the field and it's real, that translates to what you're going to get on the field. These aren't two guys that are going to compete and hate each other in competition. They're going to thrive and feed off of one another in competition. It's going to be healthy. They're going to hold each other accountable. This is what they've always done. This is what they want.
And they're going to.
I am a movie buff.
All right. You ever seen New Jack City?
I have seen.
Brown and Money, they grew up together.
Yeah. It was, but you were alluding to Love and Basketball. How did that end?
Love and Basketball ended well.
Okay.
For Monica. Old boy tore up his ACL.
I mean, he still got what he wanted. He had the family and all of that. But I think Odell is going to embrace this because of the personalities that are around him. He's going to have fun again. In New York, it wasn't fun anymore because he was getting all the attention and they were losing. Yep. Now he's going to share that platform with guys who he's going to love going to work with every day.
Yeah, and this is about legacy too, right? I really, truly believe that this move feels very similar because I ran into Odell a couple of days ago and we had this discussion. I told him, I said, this move feels a lot like my first year in New Orleans, like the significance and the magnitude that we had in front of us to impact the community, impact the organization. Teams do not view the New Orleans Saints the same way that they used to before our generation got there. And I truly feel like Odell and the rest of the guys on this team have that same opportunity in front of them to make an impact and to leave a legacy so that your kids will get free meals. If he wins a Super Bowl in Cleveland, winning a Super Bowl in Cleveland is different than winning a Super Bowl for the New York Giants because they've done it before. They've been there, done that before. But you win a Super Bowl in Cleveland with one of the most dedicated fan bases who are starving for wins. And we're not even talking about playoffs. They starving for wins over there. And now you have a team, maybe the best team that they've ever had on paper, that has ability to go to the playoffs and deep into the playoffs, possibly a Super Bowl. That is about legacy. And I love the press conference. I love seeing that there were no coaches, there were no GMs. It was just all about the players. Because at the end of the day, the players are the ones that are going to have to make this thing work. But on top of that, the head coach, Freddie Kitchens, being his first time, he had a lot on his plate. Because now he's going to have the command and respect of all those guys in that locker room when he walks in there. He's no longer that running back coach or the quarterback's coach or the OC. Now you have to create a culture such that it allows guys, with Odell, allows guys to go out and to blossom.
Odell, cash money, bro.
It remains to be seen. Is he happy? Of course he's happy now. We ain't played a game yet. You should be happy. And so the key is going to be, when September rolls around and these games start, he better get his targets. Yep. And it's not so much, if you look at it, Jarvis Landry is going to be the one making an adjustment. He's one of the most targeted receivers in the league since he's come into the league. Odell isn't. So Jarvis Landry is going to be the one that's going to have to make an adjustment and say, I'm going to get less balls. And the problem is, you're a little older. They both want to eat. You can say, we best friends. We went to college together. I want to see you do well. But I want to do well as well.
Of course.
And so
I want to do better, I think.
I don't care who does better, because if you're doing well and I'm doing well, it don't matter. I don't care what you're doing. As long as I get to my expectations, I can care less what the next guy's doing. Freddie, this is all on Freddie Kitchens.
Yep. 100%.
He's going to have to navigate through this and manage egos and personalities more so than managing the game. Yeah. Baker Mayfield, being the quarterback he is, his personality will help. But, yeah, he's happy now.
Let me ask you this, TJ, because you played with Chad Johnson. If Chad Johnson, they had brought in another number one receiver, would Chad have been happy?
More than likely, yes, because they weren't going to be better than Chad. Chad was that good. Yeah. They weren't going to be better than Chad. So you bring him in, Chad is still better than him. And so Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham is a better receiver complete than but Jarvis Landry can play.
Yeah.
To this point that you're getting to, their skill sets are different.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they're different. You have Odell Beckham who can stretch the field, who's a game breaker at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
Jarvis Landry, is he a game breaker? Yes. But the way he breaks the game open is a lot different than Odell Beckham. He's not blowing the top off of defenses. Their style of play, it complements one another.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's going to be this pull for what he's getting, I want. What he's getting, I want. No, because their styles of play, they offer you different things.
See, the only thing that will be different is Odell can actually get in the slot and do what Jarvis does.
Yeah.
He can actually do that if they ask him to.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of if he's not getting any looks, okay, you're going to have certain formations that Odell and Jarvis will switch. Okay, we're going to try to get Odell this ball because he hadn't getting any looks. And so that normally would go to Jarvis. You know, we call I right X.
Yeah.
That let the X knows me and Chad will switch.
Yep.
And so as long as they get their looks, but then, dude, we talking about Njoku, he gonna want the ball. Callaway can play. Kareem Hunt after the 8-game suspension.
Yeah.
Chubb, they
Duke
have
Johnson.
so many guys that.
And a first-time head coach.
All of this
Unproven.
sounds good. The one thing that will eliminate everything we're talking about it as being potential is winning.
You win the ball, we all have it.
Nobody cares who's
care about
eating.
nothing.
We've never seen Odell upset while winning.
I'm
How often has New York won?
Yes, that's my
Recently.
point. He was unhappy because you're not winning, and I'm the focal point. And I got a quarterback that's struggling to even get me the ball when I'm open, and I'm doing my job.
This is the thing, guys. Odell knows a narrative that's being talked about. He's not a fool. He's not a dumb person at all. He knows a narrative. If they're winning and he acts crazy, it's a wrap for him.
Yeah.
He's not going to, and if he does act crazy, he's going to do it privately, behind closed doors. He not going to publicly get out there and act crazy because he's not getting the ball if they're winning games. He's not going to do it.
To that point, this is where I know what Odell, the receiver, can give me. But I want to see if Odell really understands that he can be just as effective without the football in his hands. Jarvis Landry is going to have to understand that. Nick Chubb, everybody else is going to have to be unselfish in this offense because the selfish side of it is going to tear this team apart really quick. The only way this thing can work is if everybody takes a step back and understands it's not about me anymore. It's about the team because we got a lot of guys on this offense that can play.
Reggie, you mentioned New Orleans and Sean Payton, a more experienced coach. And he wasn't that experienced when you got there.
Yeah, it was first time as a head coach when I got there.
But it wasn't his first year.
It wasn't his first year coaching.
Yeah, it wasn't his first year.
Right.
This is Freddie Kitchens' first year as the head coach. I'm worried about the expectations now for Cleveland. This has been a franchise with no expectations. Now everybody's picking them to win the AFC North. There will be disappointment if they don't win 9 or 10, 11 games. How will they handle the expectations?
Ooh, how will they handle it? Well, that remains to be seen. If I'm Freddie Kitchens, I'm leaning on other coaches who've had to go through this for a first time, right? Like a Sean Payton, like a Sean McVay. Because when we first got there that first year, there were a lot of questions. The same questions that people are having now about the Cleveland Browns. We had those same questions, my first year there as well. And Sean Payton did a great job at putting that team together. Now, we still had our struggles and our ups and downs, but we didn't have any off-the-field issues. We didn't have anybody in the locker room with any kind of personalities like an Odell or
But how'd you guys do that for your rookie year?
We went 10-6 and we was one game away from the Super Bowl.
And
so
winning cures everything.
And so to me, if I'm Freddie Kitchens, I got to go talk to some other guys. Like, hey, how did you do it? How did you handle this thing your first year? Because you can never get enough intel. You can never lean on enough guys for experience. There are a ton of coaches out there who've done this, been there, done that before. You have to put your pride aside and rely on them.
Expectations make them or break them.
I think it's going to make them, and simply because everybody's unsure. And I can't speak for everybody. I'm going to speak for myself. I'm unsure can they meet expectations? Because at the end of the day, it's about the players. Like you talk about Freddie Kitchens, and I think he's been coaching long enough, not as a head coach, but he understands how to put together a game plan, what players need to be successful. Can they execute it? And can they put pride aside, ego aside? Because there's so many playmakers defensively, offensively on both sides of the ball. Can we work as a team?
Yeah.
It's not an individual game anymore. Yes, the better the team does, the more accolades every individual player gets. That's what's to be seen, because all of these players that we're talking about, as great of personalities as they have on the football field, none of them have ever won.
Yeah.
None of them have ever won. So they're going to do this together, and they're going to have some growing pains.
Yeah.
Expectations, will they be able to handle it? I say yes, and the reason I say that is this. When Hugh got fired after week 8, Baker Mayfield went 5-3. And this, we put it on Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchen and Baker Mayfield, it's on both of those guys.
Yeah, it is.
He went 5-3, completed 68% of his passes. And now you bring in one of the best receivers in the league that can get open in one-on-one. He can beat you down the field. He can stop on a dime and run around. That's only going to make him better. Now, everybody is going to want to play Cleveland. They're going to get a lot of primetime games. We know when you're playing on Monday night or Sunday night as a player, you're really ready to play.
Yeah.
So those expectations of being the only game on TV, guys is going to be really ready to play. And so for me, I like it. If they don't win 10 games, for me, it's a disappointment.
I agree.
Because they have talent up and down, and their quarterback, he just has this confidence about him that he just refuses to let his team be bad.
Yeah.
What I like about this team, really quick, is that the personnel that John Dorsey has put together, they don't back down from the spotlight. They all get better when the light is the brightest.
Neither did Chad Johnson. He never won in the postseason.
Oh, man.